This one prompt is the foundation of how I create consistent AI characters. It gives me the exact same face across different angles, different shots, and a clean character reference I can actually build from. The first image usually looks great, but the moment you try a different camera angle, change the lighting, or place that character into a new scene, maintaining that exact same look becomes a huge challenge. The AI starts losing the subtle details that make the character unique. And it gets even harder when you try to animate the character without the face melting, or when you need to keep two different characters consistent in the same scene. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I use this prompt to lock a character's identity. And stick around until the end, because I'll show you a JSON method that lets you take full control over your AI images, editing them with surgical precision while keeping your character and every detail perfectly consistent. Before we jump in, I just want to say I've been reading all your comments and I see how many of you are asking about my avatar. To give you the best possible answer, I've decided to put together a deep dive module where I'll show you the whole process. This is something I've been developing and refining myself, and honestly, I haven't seen anyone doing it this way. So if that's something you're interested in, it will be available inside my academy very soon, and the link is in the description. But for now, let's break down how to get the most out of this prompt. If you watched my previous video, you're already familiar with the concept, but this time I want to go deeper into the details and show you how to get a much cleaner result using a few different techniques. The first thing you need to do is prepare your base image. Since we're creating a full character sheet where both the face and the full body need to stay perfectly consistent across different poses, we're going to use two reference images. One is your full body reference for the outfit and proportions, and for the second one, you can simply crop your original image to focus purely on the face. You can do this in any app. I'll be using Canva for this example. Just upload your base image and then crop it down so you remove everything else and keep only the face. Try to make the face as close as possible. You see, this is crucial because when the AI generates a grid, it has to process a lot of details at once. If the face in your reference is too far away, the AI starts guessing the features, and you lose that likeness. By adding a face crop, you're locking the identity. And here's the important part. The cleaner and sharper the face is, the less the AI has to guess. Because the moment it starts filling in details on its own, that's when you lose consistency. So if your face looks low quality, it's important to upscale it. And if you don't have a tool for that, I've added a restoration prompt inside my academy that can help you get a clean result while keeping everything perfectly consistent. Step 2, build your base grid. Now, once you have both images ready, this is where the prompt comes in. This is the exact prompt I use, and you can get it completely for free. I left the link in the description. And I know it might look a bit complex at first, but the idea behind it is actually very simple. What this prompt is really doing is splitting the character into two parts. One image controls the face, and the other controls the body. Everything else in this prompt is just telling the AI what to do. Here, I'm listing all the angles I want: front, side, back, close-up, full body. So the AI doesn't decide anything on its own. It just follows what you gave it. And then I clearly tell it what should not change. That's why you get consistency, because nothing is left for the AI to guess. Let's try this in practice. You can use Nano 2 wherever it works best for you, but I personally use it inside VO. So what I'm going to do is open a new project. Here, make sure you switch it to image generation, then choose the aspect ratio, in our case 16:9. After that, select the number of generations, I'll set it to 4, and choose Nano 2. And just so you know, you can actually use Nano inside VO for free. Now I take my two reference images, the full body and the face, and upload them here. Then I copy my prompt and paste it right here without changing anything. And once I run it, this is the result I get. You can already see what's happening here. The identity stays the same across different angles. The face looks consistent, the proportions stay the same, and nothing starts randomly changing. And this is exactly what we want. But now, one important thing to keep in mind, you won't always get the perfect result on the first try. Sometimes you'll need to generate a few variations to find the grid that looks the best. In my case, for this main character, some parts of the grid looked really good. For example, certain angles were very clean, but others, especially from further distance, didn't look as accurate. So what I did was take the best parts from different generations and combine them into one clean version that looked right across all angles. But as you saw earlier, with another character using the exact same prompt, I was able to get a clean result in just one generation. I didn't have to combine anything. Everything came out consistent across all angles. So it really depends on the character and the level of detail. Sometimes it works right away, and sometimes it takes a bit more time to get everything exactly right. I'll definitely recommend spending more time on this step because this becomes your base. And from that point on, you don't have to repeat the whole process every time. You already have your foundation. And from that point on, you can keep reusing it again and again. It becomes the base for everything else you're going to build. Now, let's say you want to change something. For example, the outfit, without breaking the character. For this, we'll be using a second prompt. And I've included that for you as well. The workflow is very simple. You take the clean grid we just created and use it as your main reference. Then paste in this second prompt. Inside the prompt, there's a specific section where you can define the new look. You can either type it in manually, or, like I usually do, use a reference image for the outfit. So what I do is upload my master grid, then upload an outfit reference, paste in the prompt, and run it. And this is the result I get. The identity stays completely locked. The face is the same, the proportions don't change, everything stays clean, but the outfit updates exactly how I want it. This is how you can build a full wardrobe for your character without ever losing consistency. And make sure you watch until the end, because I'm going to show you one more method that gives you even more precise control over your images. Now, let's say you want to place your character into a real scene. This is exactly where most people lose consistency. To avoid that, I'll be using a third prompt, and it works the same way. Inside the prompt, there's a specific place where you can describe the scene you want to create. And just like with the previous prompt, you have two options here. You can either describe the environment manually, or if you have a reference image for the background, you don't need to write anything at all. You can just upload the reference, and the AI will use it automatically. So what I do is take my clean grid, use it as a reference, copy the prompt, paste it in. And in this example, I'll just type the scene instead of using a reference image. Then I simply describe the environment I want to place the character in. In this case, I'll go with a desert scene, and once I generate, this is the result I get. The character is now placed into a completely new environment, but the identity stays exactly the same. Now, I also tested this using both Nano Banana 2 and the previous version, and honestly, the difference isn't huge. Both versions can give you really solid results. If you look closely, in most cases I personally prefer Nano Banana 2. The consistency feels a bit cleaner, but at the same time, the older version can still perform really well too. So in the end, it really comes down to what you prefer. Both versions will work just fine. Next, let me show you how to place two different characters into the same scene. We'll use a prompt designed specifically for multiple characters. The idea stays the same, but now we're working with two references, one for each character. Inside the prompt, there's a separate section where you define the scene. You can describe the environment yourself or use a reference image, just like before. There's also a part where you define what the characters are doing. For this example, I'll be using both character grids that we generated earlier. So what I do is take both of my character grids, use them as references, paste in the prompt, define the scene and the interaction. And since I already generated this using the same prompt earlier, I'll just show you the result. Here you can see two different characters in the same scene, with no blending and no loss of identity. Before I reveal the final bonus method that lets you take full control over your AI images, let me show you something really powerful. Instead of just placing your character into a single scene, we can actually create a full set of scenes, all inside the same environment. For this, we'll be using a fifth prompt. Here, we're combining two things: your character grid as the identity reference, and a separate environment image that defines the world, the lighting, the atmosphere, and the overall style. So instead of describing everything manually, we're letting the references do most of the work. And what this prompt does is generate multiple scenes at once, but all inside the same environment. Each panel shows a different moment, a different angle, or a different shot, but everything still feels connected, like part of one continuous sequence. And one important thing I added here is numbering. Each panel is clearly labeled, and this makes a huge difference, because now, instead of regenerating everything again, you can just extract the exact frame you like. For example, you can write extract frame 4, keep everything exactly the same. And now you're working with a specific scene, not the whole grid. So this becomes a really powerful way to build multiple shots quickly, and then reuse them however you want. And now, as I promised, here's a very practical bonus for those of you who stayed until the end. This is the JSON method. If you've never used JSON before, don't worry, the idea is actually very simple. Sometimes you have an image with a lot of different elements, and you want to change multiple things, but you don't know how to describe everything properly, or you just don't want to write long paragraphs. So instead, you can do this. First, I take the original image and convert it into JSON, basically breaking it down into all of its parts. And for that, I use this prompt. Analyze this image and convert it into a structured JSON description. Break it down into subject, clothing, environment, lighting, composition, and overall style. Then, I take that same image again and use it as a reference. This is what keeps the identity locked. And now, instead of rewriting the whole prompt, I just change one thing inside the JSON. For example, the outfit, the background, or any specific detail. And to apply those changes, I use this prompt. Modify the image based on the following JSON instructions. Keep the original identity exactly the same. Do not change the face unless explicitly specified. Apply only the changes described in the JSON. And where it says, you simply paste your JSON and modify whatever you want inside it. Because now you're not regenerating the entire image. You're controlling exactly what changes and what stays fixed. So the AI rebuilds the image based on that structure. The character stays the same, the identity stays the same, and only the part you changed gets updated. And this is just another method that helps you maintain consistency. Both approaches work really well, the one I showed you earlier and this one. They're just different approaches depending on what you want to achieve. All the links to my academy and prompts are in the description and the pinned comment, so feel free to check them out. And if you found this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.